I'll hopefully be giving you a lesson in aerospace physiology. Now, how many people have been flying and had their ears pop on an airplane? Right? Okay. What that is air trapped behind the membrane of the eardrum trying to equalize pressure with the outside air. And you don't realize it, but that's happening pretty much in every empty airspace in your body. Okay? Now, when I was in the Army, some of you see where this is going. Okay. When I was in the Army, I was a aircrew member on flight status, so at one point we had to go to the high altitude chamber at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, Florida, for 3 days worth of training in the to understand what it's like to be in high altitude environments with low oxygen and low air pressures. And of course that was an excuse to go golfing and get drunk too. So over the course of the weekend, the training was going to culminate with a quote-unquote flight up to 35,000 feet, all without leaving the ground. You see, they have a metal steel vessel that's like a submarine on the ground with a big steel hatch with a wheel that you turn to shut it and get airtight. And they have the ability to pump air out of this vessel, which for all intents and purposes is the equivalent of being at a higher altitude. And the Air Force guys were kind enough to warn us that the night before that we should take it easy and relax, don't do anything strenuous, and avoid food heavy in vegetable matter for obvious reasons. Because again, air wants to equalize to the outside pressure, and it will do that by any means necessary. And we were told that, mostly decorum would leave on the outside of that steel hatch, and it would be okay to do what we needed to do to equalize pressure. So the night before, we thought to ourselves, me and my buddies, how can we really make a mess of things? And we thought, well, let's go get some Korean food. And let's go drink a lot of beer and eat bulgogi and kimchi, which is pickled cabbage. Great material, by the way. And we did this up the whole night so that the next morning, on the day of the flight, quote unquote, to 30,000 feet, we were ready to go. And anytime you're 20-something years old and you have permission to fart in front of other people, and it's considered normal, you're going to take advantage of that opportunity. I still do occasionally, but it's neither here nor there. So we start to get inside this vessel. They close the hatch. They start pumping the air out. And to further illustrate the point they were making is that they had a surgical glove, a plastic surgical glove, hanging from the ceiling, sealed up at the wrist, and essentially looked like a limp little plastic glove as you'd expect at sea level. Well, as we climbed in altitude, it seemed as if it was inflating itself. And that was essentially the air that was trapped inside the glove trying to equalize pressure with the outside air. And so we go through 10,000 feet and 15,000 feet and 20,000. And sure, pop, there go the ears, right? It's right on schedule. And we're all wearing oxygen masks, so we're talking like this to each other and stuff. And we're kind of looking around, big saucer eyes, And I feel this discomfort that I need to relieve. And I attempt to, but nothing happens. So I think to myself, well, I need to make more of a concerted effort to get rid of this. So I would take deep breaths, and I would hold my breath and push my diaphragm, as we were taught. Push my diaphragm down so that I would push everything out accordingly, and nothing happened. And this glove is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so it's illustrating, I think, the pain that I have. Was that the over?
That's 4:30.
Oh, okay. Well, that's about right. So what ends up happening is that pretty soon I'm imagining I'm going to explode and have my guts all over the place. So I give this signal, stop this thing, stop this ride, And they stop pulling the air out. They make me stand up because they're looking through these portholes, if you can imagine, these thick glass. And they make me stand up, turn around, bend over, and as a result, I released quite a tremendous discharge. And I had tears rolling down my eyes. And I gave him the thumbs up, and we finished the thing. And at the end of the exercise, when we came back down to sea level, and everyone took off their masks, there was this odor in the air of about 15 people who had been in this thing, you know. But everyone's looking at me as if it was my fault. I'm like, oh, like, you know, you guys farted too. That was my most embarrassing moment.